Welcome to Your Future, Your Way, where we explore the many ways to reach your academic and professional goals. Whether you are a recent grad, considering career advancement, or even changing careers, this podcast is for you. There is more than one way to do higher education. This is Your Future, Your Way.
Before we start, we want you to know that the views, information, or opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Division of Continuing Studies, the University of Wisconsin-Madison, or the Board of Regents.
My name is Emma Davis. I'm an enrollment coach with the recruitment strategies team in the Division of Continuing Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Get ready for an application assistance takeover. Today, we're going to learn helpful tips to make your application stand out. First of all, congratulations on considering the University of Wisconsin-Madison for your graduate studies. It can be a bit intimidating to embark on this exciting journey, so I want to share information with you so you feel prepared and excited to submit your application. I'll share details about the minimum application requirements at UW and where you can find program-specific application requirements. And then I'll wrap up the episode with a few best practices for submitting a quality application. Before diving into the application materials, be sure to take the time to explore the various professional graduate programs offered at UW by visiting pdc.wisc.edu/explore, where you can search the degrees by topic and modality. Again, that's pdc.wisc, W-I-S-C, the first four letters of Wisconsin.edu/explore. Ensure the program you choose aligns with your academic and career goals while balancing other commitments such as work and family. And all of the programs listed on that website have a designated enrollment coach like myself who can walk you through whether or not that program's the right fit for you. After finding a program that meets your needs, visit the program's website by searching for your program of choice on grad.wisc.edu. Another great resource is called the Graduate Guide, which you can find at guide.wisc.edu/graduate. This is my favorite place to find information for programs at UW. The guide includes program-specific admission details, including application deadlines and a list of required application materials, as well as contact information for all of the programs. Mark the application deadlines on your calendar and be sure to submit your materials by the deadline. All right. Now we're ready to dive into application materials. The grad school sets minimum application requirements, so let's start with the minimum requirements for admission across UW's campus. First, a bachelor's degree is required. The degree must be from a regionally accredited U.S. institution or a comparable degree from an international institution. Next up, your grade point average or GPA. A minimum undergraduate grade point average of 3.0 on the equivalent of the last 60 semester hours is required. For those who already have a master's degree, a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.0 is required. The grad school won't request your official transcripts until after the program has recommended you for admission. However, some programs, actually I would say most programs, require unofficial transcripts in their application. Now, a few items specific to our international applicants. First, applicants from an international institution must demonstrate strong academic achievement comparable to a 3.0 for an undergraduate or master's degree. Second, international applicants also will need to submit language test scores, if applicable, and proof of adequate financial resources. If you're not sure if it's applicable to you, you should talk to someone at the graduate school or an enrollment coach on our team so we can discuss your options. I encourage international applicants to listen to our application assistance episode specifically designed for international students, which goes into more detail about things to keep in mind as international applicants.
This episode of Your Future, Your Way comes from UW-Madison Professional Programs, offering over 90 graduate-level programs including online and evening and weekend options for working adults. For more details, visit us at go.wisc.edu/pro.
Okay, let's talk about program-specific requirements. Academic program requirements are often more rigorous than those set by the grad school. So let's dive into commonly required program-specific materials. Be sure to check your program's website or that graduate guide for a list of program-specific requirements. As I mentioned earlier, many programs will require a copy of your transcripts. Those are your unofficial transcripts to assess your completed work and GPA. If your GPA is below a 3.0, use your statement of purpose to explain any extenuating circumstances or demonstrate how you've grown academically or professionally since earning that GPA. Sometimes a program won't consider you at all if your GPA is below that 3.0, so you can talk to an enrollment coach about whether it's worth your time to apply if you're unsure about your academic record. Another commonly required application material is for applicants to provide up to 3 letters of recommendation. These letters are used by the admission committee to gain insight into what you're like as a student, employee, or volunteer. Select individuals who can provide relevant recommendations that highlight your abilities and potential for success in grad school. I frequently get a question of who is an appropriate recommender, and this can be anyone from a professional background. So I like to say, don't think about your cousin or favorite neighbor who knows you well, but someone from an academic or work relationship who can speak to you as a student or employee. Next up, let's talk about that statement of purpose, which is an essay where you can articulate your interest in the program and share more details about your academic and work experience, your academic goals, and why you're a suitable candidate for the program. Some programs provide specific questions to answer, so be sure to check the program's admission requirements for more details. Most programs through UW will use their general statement of purpose guidelines, which can be found on the grad school's website for interested students. There's a tab right there on the website for interested students where you can find those guidelines. Some programs request a copy of your CV or resume. Make sure your resume is up to date and that it highlights your academic and professional experiences, especially experiences that are connected to your program of interest. A few programs require applicants to provide standardized test scores, such as the Graduate Record Examination, or the GRE. Prepare for these tests well in advance, as your scores can impact your application. These scores are relevant up to 5 years after taking the GRE, so make sure that yours are up to date if you took the GRE a little while ago. Finally, some graduate programs require interviews as part of the admission process. Be sure to discuss your interests, academic backgrounds, and motivation for pursuing the specific program. We always recommend that you practice your interview before you get to the official interview time as well. That covers the most commonly required application materials. To wrap up, I'd like to share a few best practices to consider before pressing submit on your application. Number 1, stay organized. Create a checklist or spreadsheet to track deadlines and the status of your application materials. You can also rate programs by those you're most interested in, list pros and cons, and list different elements of the campus that you're interested in, everything that you need to stay organized to think about whether the program's the right fit for you. Second, be sure to proofread and edit your application materials. Review them for grammar, spelling, and formatting errors. A well-polished application demonstrates attention to detail. Follow instructions. Adhere to the program-specific application instructions. Ensure you submit all required documents and materials in the correct format. Seek feedback. Ask mentors, professors, or peers to review your application materials. Anyone you know who has applied to grad school in the past is a great resource for you as you're going through this process. You can also reach out to the enrollment coaches on our team for support. Their feedback can provide valuable insights and help you improve your application. And again, I'll just reiterate, reach out to an enrollment coach. We are here to share more information about UW's program offerings. We're here to help you find the right program, and we're here to guide you through this application process. Email coach@pdc.wisc to connect with an enrollment coach. Preparing application materials for grad school at UW-Madison should be an exciting process. By researching your chosen program, adhering to deadlines, and presenting a strong application package, you can increase your chances of gaining admission to a graduate program at UW. Remember, each program may have unique requirements, so adapt your approach accordingly. And if you have any questions about professional graduate programs, or you just want to talk to somebody about your application materials, please feel free to reach out to coach@pdc.wisc.edu, and an enrollment coach like myself will follow up. Thanks for listening to our Application Assistance Takeover. Best of luck with your academic journey. On Wisconsin.
Join us next time to learn more about professional programs at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Learn how to shape your future your way.